Today we're going to do a quick maintenance item on this Audi A4. It's a 2-liter turbo. We're going to replace the high pressure fuel pump cam follower. They're recommended to be replaced at like every 20,000. It's been almost 40,000 since I did this one last, so it's a little overdue to say the least. They're a wear item, but if they wear through, it can cause just catastrophic damage. Bits of that follower, if it wears away or wears thin, can get into the head and get chewed up, and you end up replacing cams, high pressure fuel pumps. Worst case, potentially a new head as well, or a second-hand head. It can cause some pretty serious damage if it fails, right? So we're going to take the high pressure fuel pump off this today. Inspect that follower, replace it with a new one, and then put it all back together. It shouldn't take too long. I'm going to set the camera up. A couple of things I've already done. I started the car and I pulled fuse number 28. It's a 20 amp fuse. It's the fuse for the fuel pump, right? So I start the car, pull the fuse out. Car runs for about 20 seconds and just runs out. And then what I do is I'll even with the fuse out, I'll crank it again for a little bit. And it may or may not start again. Don't put the fuse back in until you're done with this job, because a lot of cars, almost all cars nowadays, all newer cars, if you put that fuse in and let's say you shut the door and then you open that door, it sends a burst signal back to the pump to prime the fuel system for you. If you ever open your door and you hear like a humming sound, that's what's happening, right? It's pressurizing the fuel system in preparation for you to start your car, because you're getting into it. The car thinks, oh, I'm about to be started, so it pressurizes that fuel system. So don't put the fuse back in until you're done with the job. Let me show you the part. So I got this from FCP Euro. It's here's the part number in case you're doing this job. You Google FCP Euro and search for that. You'll find it. They ship out of Connecticut. They shipped it just regular Royal Mail, USPS. Royal Mail's where I come from. They shipped it USPS from Connecticut to me. East Coast is 2 days. So I ordered it Thursday night. It showed up today. Today's Saturday. Let me show you the part that we're replacing. Over here. So I'll take it out of this bag so you can see it. So this is the cam follower that I'll show you how it works when I take the pump out. But basically, there's kind of like a piston. It's basically a rod with a little end on it that sits inside this, and then your camshaft is here. And as the engine turns, there's a lobe that drives this up and down, which in turn drives the piston up and down. The piston's got a big spring on it too to bring it back. And then as the engine's running real fast, this thing's pumping up and down. It's driving the high pressure fuel pump, which is giving you I forget what these are. It could be about 15 to 1800 psi, something like that. I don't know. I'd have to look it up. I don't remember. But what happens to these is this end here just over time wears out. And if this cracks or splits or a chunk of it falls, I mean it's on the camshaft, right? So if a chunk of it falls into the head, it can get chewed up. It can cause all kinds of damage. So we're gonna pull the one that's in there's got 40,000 miles on it, which is way overdue. Stupid me. I should have replaced this ages ago. So we're gonna rip this high pressure pump off, replace this guy. And this is it's such a cheap part. I want to say it was like 20 or 30 bucks delivered to my door. So that's the plan. I'm gonna set the camera up and show you just removing the high pressure pump, and then we'll inspect the follower that's on there. And we'll replace it. We'll get some engine lube on this and stuff, and we'll install it. So this car's it's still a little hot. It's not too hot. It's been sitting for a couple hours, but it's not cold. So I may grab a set of gloves just to keep my fingerprints intact. And yes, let me set you guys up. So I've already taken a blow nozzle and blew this whole motor down. just with compressed air, just to make sure, you know, less chance of any dirt or crap. We're going to open this head up, and there's going to be a fairly big hole there. We don't want anything falling into the motor. So we're going to pull off this PVC hose. We'll probably pull this, which means I need a triple square. And then the high pressure fuel pumps, it's right here. It's held on with 3 Torx. They look like about a T27 or a T30, not sure. We'll figure it out. I might pull this little bracket out of the way too. It's for the cover sits on it. And then a couple of electrical connectors. And then there's a hard line on the underneath, which way down in here, which I'll see if I can get you guys a shot. Looks to be like a 17 or maybe a 19. We're gonna have to crack that. And then this pump will come out and up, and then we'll check the count. So, enough talking, let's do it. Grab my little air ratchet. This is made by Astro. I have no idea what the part number. Oh, part number 1119. It's a 3/8 with a wobble head. It's called a PAM ratchet. You can see, I don't know if you can see it small. You know, I don't have big hands, so it's a very, very small tool, but it packs a punch. Pretty good tool. We're gonna pull this triple square. Let's see what size it is. Maybe a 10. We'll check. Or 10. 10. It's not even a 6. So we're just going to loosen that up so we can get it out of the way later. Let's grab our 10 mil. Oh, it's toasty. It's roasty toasty. I'm just pulling that off to get it out of the way. You could probably do it without taking that off, but careful with these. These pipes get super brittle. You don't want to break them. It's a Pcv pipe. This is your PCV valve right here, and that's just going to your intake. Oh, super careful with those. You sneeze on these and they'll break. Okay, so high pressure fuel pump. It's got 3 Torx. They look like T27, so let's check it. Nope, nope. It's got to be a 30. Yep, so it's a T30. You're going to need this. Yeah, hopefully you know what a Torx bit is, but you're going to need a T30 to get those out. Grab yourself a little pick. You can pop off your connectors. This thing's pretty hot. I did not realize it was this hot. Oh, he's hot. This guy doesn't want to play ball. A lot of times if you get a connector that doesn't want to come off, shove it back in. Like push it further in and then try and take it out. It'll release that little plastic clip that's inside it. Top tip on a Saturday. So we've got 2 fuel lines here. One's got a spring-loaded clamp on it, and one's got a looks like a 17 mil nut. I think I'm gonna have to. This is a water pipe. I'm gonna have to pull the bolts out of this water pipe. Sure, what? Look like a T30 as well. I got to move this to get at that pipe. This guy's hiding. I don't know if you guys can see the front of that or not. just going to move you guys just a touch. So the other bolt for this is right here. It's in like a bit of a blind hole. Be careful you don't back your ratchet into the radiator. Now you'll be in a world of hurt. So that should give me enough, hopefully. Yeah, so we're, oh yeah. Oh, look at that. Lovely. Lovely jubbly. So now I've got pretty much all the access I need here. A couple of things you want to do before you go ripping fuel lines off is that there's a Schrader valve at the back of your pump here. Right here. Got a little cap on it. We're going to just go ahead and depress that valve just in case there's still petrol in there or fuel, gasoline in there. And again, we're going to grab a pick, we're going to get a rag, we're going to go back there, I'm going to give it the old reach around. Zoom you guys in a little. You can get a good view of that pump there. So, make sure you get yourself a rag. There's nothing here that, if any fuel spilt, could do any damage really. You know, the exhaust's on the other side, so but you don't make a mess if you don't have to. So hopefully you can see that. We're going to just come around. There's a valve right here. I'm going to give it the squeeze. Hopefully. I might go get something. It's not something bigger than a pick. Oh yeah, she's still got a bunch of pressure in it. It's hard to do with the end of the pick so pointy. Yeah, it's just a 90-degree pick. It's hard to get the valve there, but yeah, hopefully you saw what was coming out of it. Hopefully you can see or at least hear that. But yeah, that's how much fuel hit the rag, I guess. Oh, it smells good. Damn. So the only thing left to do is the hard line. I may not even remove that flex line there. I might just leave that in place. Drop the hard line, pull it out. Should be good. If not, we'll deal with taking that off. We got enough room in here now to get a spanner wrench, get a wrench in. Wow. Maybe try a little stubby. You know what? Let's pull this brake buster hose out of here too. Just to get a touch more room. We can get our spanner back there. It'd be easier if this thing wasn't piping hot. Alright, we got it cracked. Take your rag, get it underneath there. You're opening fuel lines, right? So you're gonna have potential fuel spills like everywhere you go. I'm gonna retry and just hit this valve here one more time. Yeah, and the fuel, this car, I mean it's hot, so the fuel is probably still expanding. It's depressurized, but it's still going to pee a little right here. Just make sure you catch it. Hopefully you can see that. Let me see if I can zoom in and get it. Yeah, look right here. This is the fuel line in. It's stopped hissing, so It's gurgling a little bit. Once you crack these, you can spin them off just with your fingers. It's pretty easy. And that's it, it's broke free there. So it's a 17 mil. Get a stubby so you can get in there. So yeah, now it's time to just go ahead and pull that high pressure fuel pump. So not too bad of a job. Never start with the bolt you can see. Ooh, actually, one of them is behind the Schrader valve. So yeah, we're gonna have to pull that off to get to that bolt. So that's kind of sucky. So grab yourself a 13 mil, and this is, you know, the bolt's coming this way, so reverse is going to be down, right hand down. So just keep that in mind. Don't try and, you know, don't get on this and start trying to tighten it or something. Jeez. Oh, it's hot. Very hot. We had a little bit of fuel leak out of there too, just a few drops, but no big deal. I don't believe there's any kind of copper washer or anything. It's just a press bit, but I'll stick around in there just in case. Nope. So that's your Schrader valve lives in there. Hopefully you can see that. But so that's what I was pushing in to depressurize the system, and then that just screws up into that housing. It's a 13 mil, and you have to remove that to get to this bolt back here. You have no choice because it's right in the way. So, so yeah, we're going to pull those three and cross our fingers that the cam is in a smooth position and not the lobe coming up. If the lobe is pushing the high pressure fuel pump at the moment, it's going to spring off and it's going to make putting it back on almost impossible, and we'll have to bar the engine over at that point. No big deal. Just in these cars, there's not much room, and hopefully it's on a smooth part and it doesn't spring out, and we can get it back in just without having to deal with turning the motor over. I think I said these are a T30, so. Just in case this is under pressure, you don't want to take two bolts out and then take the last bolt out, because then it'll come out all crooked. Just crack them all at the same time, and then you'll see what's going to happen if it's under that pressure or not.